Welcome back to the video. Today I'm super excited to share with you something that's simple, it's free, it's going to make you feel better. If you're doing this already, put in the comments when we talk about it. If you're already doing this or you've done it in the past, let me know what your outcomes are, okay? Because today we're going to share another book with you. It's up there in one of my top few books that I've read. As we said in the last video, if you've not watched that, you need to dive in when we discussed Annie Grace's book on alcohol. But today we're going to look at gratitude, and we're going to share a book with you that's called, I'll give it up straight away. There we are, thanks. So this book is amazing. Practicing Gratitude, and we're going to talk about how does this simple, effective, free thing help us? How does it not only help us in each day, but how does it help our IBS? Because that's why you're here. We do men's IBS mastery. Everybody seems to think that managing IBS or mastering IBS, having that self-control, is diets, supplements, maybe some medications. And there's a time and a place for medications and supplements if they're being recommended by your GP or a dietitian. So I'm not saying that's no. There is a time and a place. But so many people seem to put band-aids over a problem, over a situation, rather than getting to the root cause, the root feelings and emotions. And this is what's so fascinating about this simple yet effective thing of practicing gratitude. And again, we're going to talk about the book. I'll go over each chapter so you've got an overview. I've got no financial affiliation to this. It's not a paid thing or an advert or anything like that. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't want to buy it, that's cool too. You might not need to, because we're going to talk about it today quickly, and hopefully you'll be able to grasp it from me reading it so you don't have to. So I've spent the hours reading it and practicing and taking notes so you don't have to, and you can just get the outcome straight away. How is that going to help you though? So my goal for this today, and I'm excited because my goal for this today is I want to take you, if you're struggling, if you're feeling you've got negative emotions, maybe you're stressed out. There's a lot of stress in the world nowadays, isn't there? The economy, if you're in the US, American politics, and this is not a political chat, but maybe you were pro Kamala Harris and Trump's now in, and that's stressing you out and causing problems, or whatever. There's a lot of things happening in the world. Maybe you are living in America and you're Jewish, and things in Israel and all that's tipping you over the edge. And I get it. There's a lot of drama that people are focusing on and causing problems. And I'm not saying that this is going to take that away. And not at all. And there's no, by no means am I going to bury my head in my sand and say, don't focus on them things. But we can control things ourselves that are within our control. So control the controllables. And there's things outside of our control that we can't really do much about. I'm going to give you some practical tips at the end of talking about the book, so you can get going with it straight away. Put it into practice. And listen, if you want to live a happier life, just who doesn't want to be happy? Who doesn't want to feel good? And then how does this affect IBS in men? Well, you might have heard, and if not, it's a buzzword going around at the moment, but clearly it's been around a wee while, the gut-brain axis. Okay? And again, we're not going to do a deep dive into that today. Charlie Jean will cover that in future episodes and podcasts as a dietitian. But what we are going to look at though is how obviously if the brain affects IBS, and you probably see some writing on the back. So as you can see there, thoughts, feelings and behaviours. So our thoughts affect our feelings, you agree? and our behaviours. Like for example, if we don't feel like, behaviour, going out for a walk with the dog because we're feeling low mood and we don't do it, what's that? It makes us feel more depressed, more down, more rubbish. However, if we did the thing and went out, it would make us feel better. So the feelings, and then we would, the thought behind that, we could think more positively, grateful for going out, we can walk, we've got legs, all this stuff. And it kind of goes around in that big circle, that big loop. If we were to look at that, then if our thoughts, feelings and behaviours are affecting our autonomic nervous system, then obviously, well, maybe not obviously, okay, sympathetic, fight or flight. And the parasympathetic is your diet, your digestive system and your gut, okay? So if we're in fight or flight mode, where we're stressed, we're panicking, and obviously there's a time and a place for fight or flight mode, there really is. Obviously, it's a protective system, isn't it? Like back in the day when a saber-toothed tiger was coming after you, your body shuts down to everything else going on. It doesn't bother with digesting food. It doesn't bother with all that, and it focuses on the thing. I need to survive. I need to get away from the saber-toothed tiger, or deal with the person that's attacking me or threatening me with a knife, or all this stuff, or maybe you're stressed out constantly watching the news. I don't watch the news, but if you watch the news, cool. If you're constantly watching the news and focusing on all the stuff in the world, the drama, the economy, the dollar, this, that, the other, politics, how is that making you feel? And then, if you put all that is making you feel rubbish. Now, what that can do is, to flick it over there, is the fight or flight system, sympathetic nervous system. If you're in that all the time, guess what? You're going to get symptoms, or it's going to make your symptoms worse. So obviously, that's not just going to get rid of your IBS by keeping calm and doing kumbaya. I'm not saying that at all, because there is no cure for IBS, and just doing that alone isn't going to solve your IBS problems. But it is definitely going to have an impact, positive impact, by keeping yourself calmer, more relaxed, happier, more positive. And listen, this isn't a case of or a video about being positive all the time, because that's rubbish. That's unhealthy. You can't be positive all the time. We need negatives to see the positives. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a time and a place. But obviously, if we are keeping ourselves in parasympathetic, the rest and digestive, so we're keeping ourselves calm, what that's going to do is we're going to get on with the digestive system's going to be working properly, and it's going to be trying to do its thing. Symptoms are going to be not disappear, but they're going to be kept at a lower level, shall we say. Okay? So would it be fair to say that we need, whether we've got IBS or not really, we want to be happy. We want to be more positive. We want to feel good when we get out of bed in the morning, and hopefully we've had some sleep and whatever else. Because there's consequences, isn't there? There's consequences to the negatives, consistently. So if we're consistently grumpy or feeling down, and maybe that's the case now, and it's horrible. When your symptoms are out of control, it's crazy. And I've been there myself. And doing this, by practicing gratitude, it might sound at the moment watching this, and just approach it with an open mind and an open heart, and think, right, maybe you're a Christian. If you're a Christian, you will all day long get what I'm saying, because in prayer, what is it? We thanks be to God. We're grateful for God. And even if you're not Christian or religious, it's just being thankful. So you don't need to be religious to do this. But actually, it is clearly the best book, the one book above all, is, for me anyway, is the Holy Bible. And for you if you're a Christian, or the Quran if you're Muslim, and various other books that are out there, depending on what religious studies you follow. It all feeds back to the Bible, doesn't it? Everything starts and stops with that. But anyway, again, not a Bible study. We're going to talk about thanks. And how can this help you, whether you buy the book or not, but how can practicing gratitude help you manage your symptoms, manage your life, be happier, and feel better? How could it? Well, let's do a dive. Let's do a dive and share that with you today. And I'm going to give you how I do it, which I think I like doing things super simple. For those that have been following the channel and you've subscribed, and you will know about my videos, simplicity is the key to mastery. If you confuse, you lose. Definitely. So keep things super simple. And that's why when I read a book, I like them to get to the point. And then I like to take notes in the book, highlights key parts, and then summarise it in my journal. And then so I can grasp it in as simple as possible way to move forward and get that wisdom, and then put it into practice myself. So this book will talk about the new science of gratitude. So it'll talk about what gratitude actually does, the science behind it. Science is, you can't argue with science. Yes, it's always evolving and it's moving forwards, but you can't argue with it. It's basically proven, isn't it? If it's science backed, there's got to be some truth in it. Do we agree? Gratitude in the psyche. So obviously we're talking about how it affects your mindset, how it affects you as a person moving forwards, and how it's embodied. So the book is going to cover all that for you in detail. But hey, we just want the outcome. Thanks be to God. So there is a part in there about gratitude in the human spirit. Again, for those that are Christian and you pray, I pray every morning and night before I go to sleep, and I'll talk about those two areas, why I do it there for me personally, and how that relates to gratitude as well, which could help you moving forward, something for you to try. Goes on about some other stuff. Gratitude in trying times, I think, was a really good chapter. Too many people rely on this, the Bible and God, when things are desperate and there's drama, a death in the family, somebody's got cancer, we've got an illness or whatever, and we're like, oh God, please, don't let this happen to me. But really, we should be doing that all the time, not just when we're desperate, not just when things are bad. But it's funny how a lot of people fall back to this, you know, the non-believers and whatnot. Again, this is not a Bible study today. It's not a chat about religion per se. We can save that for another time if need be. But in terms of gratitude, we are, you know, people that pray, and if you can relate to this, we are thankful to God, aren't we? We give thanks. We give thanks for our health, our wealth, if we're wealthy, if we're already happy, if we've got a healthy family, if we've got children that are doing well at school, and friends, you know, if we're surrounded by love and a good community. All these things we give thanks for and we're grateful for. And it's connecting that, though, at a deeper level. So we're not just staying surface level, deeper level. Now, listen, most people, if you're watching this, you say, Glenn, I'm already grateful. You know, if you made me a meal and put it in front of me, I'd say thank you, you know. But it's deeper than that, guys. It really is. I've always been grateful. I got brought up to be grateful, you know, thankful as you will, and give thanks for things growing up as a kid. And I'm sure you did too. But we're going to take this at a much deeper level to keep ourselves, you know, over time, to change our psyche, which is in the book, and the science, to change our, I guess, remap our DNA, as you will, for use of a better word, to move forward. So how I did it, so that's the book in a nutshell. I'm going to talk about practical tips and just get to the point so you get the outcome straight away, and you don't need to read the book then. The week and a half it took me to read this, you don't need to, that type thing. So for me, I grabbed a journal or a notebook, and when I started out doing this, I used to go to bed at night, and what I would do with a little reading light, I'd grab a pen and an A5 piece of paper, and I would start at the top, and I would just simply put something along the lines of thank you, or I'm really, really grateful for the following, and I would just go for it. And I would always try to look at what I'm grateful for in the past, in my past, or, you know, in the past. It could be the past beyond you as well. You know, for example, I'm grateful that we didn't lose World War II. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you'll agree that if, you know, Adolf Hitler and the German army had have won World War II, this would have been a bit of a different world right now, a little bit crazier than what it actually is and has been for the last few decades. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that, you know, for the Great War and all this stuff. So even though there's been times of conflict and bad negative times in the world, I'm grateful for the outcome that we've got past that, we've moved past it, and in different areas. So and then it's my past, you know, you could be grateful for being born. I mean, do you know what the chances or the odds are of not being born? If you look at it, you can Google it up, it's like in the trillions that you shouldn't be here. So it's crazy. So it's connected something in the past. And I started off, I did 2 or 3 things for the past, 2 or 3 things for the present. What am I grateful for in the present? I'm grateful for my wife. I love her to bits. You know, couldn't have met a better person, not to do a pink and fluffy kind of video, but just as an example. I'm really grateful for my 4 children's health, and that they all seem to be, 3 have grown up, but they're doing, I guess, okay. In the ones that are grown up, and the younger one, she's 8. She's doing really well at school. So I'm grateful for all that. I'm grateful for my eyesight, even though I wear glasses when I'm reading now and I'm getting older. So do you see where I'm going with this? It makes sense. And then obviously I'm grateful for, here's the magic, and this is what people will, if you understand manifestation, and I'm not going to do a video about that today, about manifesting your future, and it's being grateful for things in the future as though they've already happened. There's a lot of, obviously, science, if you listen or watch Dr. Joe Dispenza, about rechanging or remapping your life, moving forwards and creating your future. And again, I don't want to confuse, I just want to keep this simple today. But it is being grateful for things in the future as though they've already happened. So you can be grateful. And it sounds mad or counter intuitive, because you're like, hang on a minute. How can I be grateful for, say, £1 million, or grateful for children that I've not had yet, or a wife that I've not met yet, or do you know all this stuff? But here's the magic. If you're grateful for it now, even whether it's in prayer or, like I've said, just writing it down and connecting to it, and I'll explain about connecting to it, all this in a second, so you can piece it all together. You start restructuring your mind and how it's. I think it taps into your subconscious brain and how it thinks, and then you start seeing things and finding things. You know, listen, we are exposed to hundreds of millions, if not billions of things a day. When you just looking around, you know, throughout the day, thoughts, things that we see and everything, it's crazy. So we've got to tune our minds into things that are going to benefit us moving forward, whether it's our goals, you know, in terms of wealth, health, happiness, whatever, spirituality. We're trying to train our minds, train our brain to have a life moving forward. Because you can't change the past, but you can do things in the present to sort out your future. Even though the future's like, you know, tomorrow never comes. Happy with that? How is this all relevant to IBS? I get that that's probably what some of you are thinking. Well, if all this makes you happier and makes you feel good, because it does, practice it and let me know in the comments, or drop me an email at, you know, hello@mensibsmastery.com and let me know. And I'm happy to, you know, if you want to join our Facebook group, IBS in Men, come along, and again we can chat in there and do a bit of a deep dive, no problem at all, because I want to help you. This is a game changer, guys. It really is a game changer. And if you just do it though, if you just write it down, oh yeah, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that, you're not going to get the outcome. You've really got to connect with what you're grateful for. Even if you've got to close your eyes, take a breath. Breathing is key. We'll talk about breathing in another video to help you out with IBS. Breathing is key. Take some breaths and connect with why. Why are you grateful for, if you've got a child, why are you grateful for your child? It's like, come on, as if you're not grateful for your child, but why? Why? What are you grateful about? What is it? What specifics? Their personality, how well they're doing at school, how funny they are, their creativity when they're playing with toys, their sense of humour, what things? And you know, when you start piecing it all together and thinking about that, how is that going to make you feel if you love your child? It's going to make you feel good, isn't it? See? Connect, and then you connect with the next bit, the next bit, the next bit. Why are you grateful for things in the past? And it's remapping your mind to see the positives and the wins in things. And then eventually what you can do is write down, you know, bad things that have happened to you. Where was the win? Was there a positive outcome later down the line, if not straight away, that came in that? Not always, maybe, if you can't find it. But usually there is. And be grateful for that. And then why? See? And then connect to it at a deep level. And if you start doing that, listen, if you do it for 1 or 2 days, you will get the outcome. 1 or 2 days is consistency is key. Time and consistency. Like with anything, like with everything. Do you know, you go to the gym, if you want to build solid chest and arms, shoulders, you've got to put the work in, haven't you? You've got to do the reps on the bench, do the reps, nutrition. And yes, there's a plan, there's a step-by-step process that you can follow, obviously, which is what this is. And then you put in the reps, and then you start seeing changes or benefits later down the line, whether it's 6 months, a year. With bodybuilding, it might be several years before you start putting on a bit of size. Just as an example, this is quicker. This took me about 6 weeks, but it took me 6 weeks. So it wasn't an overnight thing where I felt it at a deeper level. And this is the key. But even when you start feeling it at a deeper level, you just keep going. I've stopped writing it down now because I did it. I was writing it down like that, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, for 2 years consistently, even on holiday and going away and all the other stuff, even through COVID, because that's the time when I was doing it, through all the lockdown and the craziness. And I had COVID and I went into hospital, I was coughing up blood, and I had all my lungs checked and this and that. The other, I was in hospital for I think 2 days, and crazy times on it for everyone. But I was still doing it through that period, and it kept me. I think it helped anyway in a big way. Now, how does that help your IBS? Well, think about it logically. If you're what we've said before about the nervous system, yeah, fight or flight. If you can calm that fight or flight down and start remapping your mind moving forwards to not constantly jump at the negatives, letter comes through the door saying we want $300 or for gas and electric, and you're expecting it to be 150, and you're like, and you're going in a tailspin. By practicing gratitude, being thankful consistently, will make you take a step back and go, do you know what? This bad thing's happened, but it's not that bad. I've got this to be thankful for. And there's this great stuff happening in my life. There's all these amazing stuff around me, miracles and children. And you'll do it without even thinking over time, without even thinking. And how good is that? What an amazing skill is that to have for your resilience. Because it's resilience. Having an abundance mindset is one of the elements to being a resilient man. And who doesn't want to be resilient? And part of our, for those that are following us and you're going on our website and checking us out, mensibsmastery.com, you'll see stuff on there and how we work different. We think differently because that's what gets people the outcome. The average person, the average mindset does not get great results. Average people get average results. And if you want to get IBS Mastery, there's a step-by-step process and it's not just about IBS Mastery. If you're watching this, and the men we work with, they don't just want, good results. They want everything. They want to smash it. They want mastery in every aspect of life, like I do. But it's an onward journey. It's an onward journey, and it's something we'll always. And I'm glad for that. I'm grateful for that because you don't want everything straight away. If you had everything now, you were the happiest you'd ever be, and you were the fittest, and this, that, the other. You had all the money in the world and everything. There was nothing else left to do or achieve. How boring would that be? I believe it would be. And even if you're thinking, no, that'd be gleaming, it might be for about a month, maybe 6 months. But then what? Like, what next? Yes, the journey is enjoyable. but listen, if you're feeling down and you're feeling gloomy, give this a try. Put it into practice. It's a complete game changer. If you're watching this and you're a Christian or any other religious and you pray, you'll know where I'm coming from because praying consistently is a game changer. And you'll just start seeing your life change in front of your eyes. It really, really does. Does it affect your IBS? Of course it does, in a positive way. It really does, because if you're keeping yourself calm, the science is there, not, on the board's just bullet points, but the science backs it up. If you can stop yourself and calm your system down when it's going to fight and flight, then you're going to not cure your symptoms, obviously, because your symptoms are caused more than just by your feelings and your emotions. Obviously, there's the food element, but that's that's clearly another part of the puzzle. But this is just focus. We're focusing on this today. We're focusing on the mind. Remember, gut-brain axis. Hopefully that helps. And listen, if for those that are into it and for those that are not, and you're thinking about it, have a dive into the Bible. And if you don't like reading this, because it is hard going, I appreciate that people think it's hard going, but hence it needs reading, rereading. It's a philosophy. And everybody thinks it's a religious book, but it is, but it's not. It's a book of life, and everything starts and finishes there. So all these other books that we see bashed around, they're all, the principles that are taught in these are all in the Bible. So, and those that read the Bible will get where I'm coming from. You will get it. And if not, if you don't want to read the Bible, fine. I really want to obviously add that value today, and I think if you give this a try, launch it in the comments. Just, if you've never done it before, don't be that guy like I was. I'm not trying that rubbish. And listen, maybe you don't need to do it. Maybe you are super happy all the time and you're so all over it. You can turn things into the positive straight away. When something bad happens in life and it tries kicking you when you're down, you're like, no problem, you bounce back up. Then this is not for you, maybe. Yeah. But if you're anything but that and you want a little bit more resilience, you want to add that little bit more resilience to your life and become a bit more of have that mastery with your mindset that will positively affect your gut as well, then give it a try consistently. Every day. I challenge you. Do it every day for the next 3 to 4 months and see what happens. And then get back to me. Email me at glow@mensibsmastery.com. Just send me an email. Fire me an email. If you're in the Facebook group IBS in Men, then do that anyway. Listen, if you've not seen the other videos that I've done, you definitely want to dive into one on alcohol. It's a game changer, if not just to educate yourself. If you're struggling with alcohol or if alcohol's becoming a drama, I talk about stuff in there, how it affects IBS. So if you're a drinker, even if you just have some drink on a weekend and your symptoms are out of control, that video might be a game changer for you. It might help explain how and why alcohol is causing you issues and what you can do about it to maybe control it or prevent it. Okay, cool. That's all I've got for you. I'll catch you later. I wish you nothing but the best in wealth, health, happiness and success. Take care.